Hello, thank you for tuning in to this interview. I am Eleen Meleng, the Content Director of CISO Malaysia. I have here with me Dato Dr. Haji Amirudin Abdul Wahab from Cybersecurity Malaysia to talk about digital transformation and evolving threats in Malaysia. Before we dive into the topic, Dato, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, my name is Amirudin Abdul Wahab. I'm the CEO of Cybersecurity Malaysia. I've been leading Cybersecurity in Malaysia since 2013, actually. And but then I'm actually not new to ICT industry. I've been in both public and private sectors in various entities, and now I've been tasked to lead Cybersecurity Malaysia, which is the National Cybersecurity Reference and Specialist Center for Malaysia.
Thank you so much, Dato. So let's dive into the topic, shall we? Yeah. So my first question is, how do you perceive the intersection of emerging technologies and cybersecurity challenges in Malaysia's evolving digital landscape?
Okay, if we look at the digital landscape nowadays, before we understand the cybersecurity landscape, it's important for us to understand the digital landscape as a whole. We can see that more and more people are now connected to the internet. Even I think some statistics at the global level, roughly about more than 5 billion, or about 64% of global population are internet users. In Malaysia, it is even more. I think about 33 million, or about maybe 96% are internet users. But then we can see that more and more of these people, not just browsing internet, they are using internet for many things, for personal matters, for commerce, for example, online business. And we also see that enterprises, organizations also using and leveraging on the various technology for business, for personal, etc. And some of them also are making use of some of the technology that are emerging. We know that many new technology is also there nowadays, IoT, AI, etc. And obviously, this help convenience in terms of we doing things. However, one thing that we need to know also that the more we are connected, we are actually getting exposed to more risk of cyber attacks. This can be at the national level, could be a national threat in terms of security, can be also to the enterprise and even personal data privacy, etc., etc. So some of the technologies I think more and more prevalent. For example, the Internet of Things, with more connectivity. We're talking about people using devices that are, we call it smart devices. It's no longer just about Internet of people that I mentioned just now. That means more internet users. But then we see that even devices are also connected. So that's why we have Internet of Things. And in fact, we are moving to what I call it even more connected, I would say, environment, which is Internet of everything. Internet of data, Internet of process, Internet of people just now, and also devices. So everything is connected. So we're moving towards a world that everything is connected, and which is also resulting in we are more exposed. IoT devices, for example, it tends to be more poor in terms of security implementation, and that can lead to data breaches, compromise to other systems of network. So that's one area. And then we know, and we've heard a lot about AI, AI also can pose threats to social engineering, fraud, deep fake, impersonation, launching attack, and they make it even more difficult now because they can learn how to defend. At the same time, they can learn also how to attack, those kind of things. So these are some of the challenges. We can also see that now, I think you've heard about the increasing trend of ransomware. Now, it become a business, ransomware as a service, then where you can pay or hire ransomware developed by operators to launch attacks. So these are, again, technologies that could pose a significant threats to the cybersecurity landscape. And then supply chain attack, that targets trusted third-party vendor. They can exploit trust and but can also lead to potential widespread impact to the organization. So we can see these are some of, I would say, technologies that we need in our life as a personal or even for enterprises, organizations, etc. But at the same time, it can, I would say, pose threats to us if
Yeah.
we don't put security measures in place.
Yeah. So we are seeing like rapid technological advancements, not just in Malaysia, but globally. So how do you think organizations in Malaysia can proactively anticipate and address new cybersecurity threats?
Well, I think one important thing, the traditional approach of security is still, I would say, relevant. Normally, people have like firewall installed,
Yeah.
they install antivirus, they install the IDS, the institution detection system, prevention system, IPS, and all those stuff. I think it's very important. Some organizations also may have awareness program or training
Yeah.
to their staff, which is also crucial. And some they back up regularly, which is also good in terms of their data. Uh, so to me, that should remain. However, we all know that because of the technological changes, the threats is also evolving. They're getting
Yeah.
more and more, I would say, smarter. Uh,
Yeah.
so while we still require all those traditional security measures, it may no longer be sufficient. So
Mm.
we need to adopt a more innovative and holistic approach. And we have to understand also when it comes to security and defending our infrastructure, etc. It's not I would call it a security, but or say defense perimeter. That means you protect by putting walls. It's no longer relevant
Yeah.
because sometimes, we know that there will be a time when they will be able to penetrate because there's no such thing as
Mm-hmm.
100% security. You know, so like it or not, we need to be able to also put a measure not only as perimeter defense but also to
Mm.
ensure cyber resiliency. That means
Yeah.
if we are attacked somehow, they manage to penetrate our network, our system, we need to be able to bounce back and recover quickly. So the
Mm-hmm.
resilience is very important. Yeah.
Mm.
So this is one way to lessen the impact of cyber attacks, and for us to act and recover or bounce once been attacked. So cyber
Yeah.
resilience is one way to move. The other thing is no longer just like perimeter defense I mentioned. We need to go and approach what we call the defense in depth or multi-layer defense. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but that means it's not just about at the different level, different layers. We have to ensure proper security measures are put in place, not just one just putting one walls cover
Yeah.
everything. No longer. We need to have approach where even after it being breached at one level, we have another
Mm.
level to protect. So this is one way. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and approach to security also need to be adaptive.
Yeah.
That means we know the changes of the landscape. So we need to also strengthen predictive capabilities, detective capabilities, responsive capabilities, and then we do the corrective capabilities. Appropriate measures to, for example, not just depending on we wait until an event happen, then we respond. Uh,
Yeah.
we also, I know that we can also place the preventive element, putting all control measures, but that's no longer sufficient. We need to strengthen our detection capabilities because the threat is getting more advanced. So some antivirus cannot detect more advanced type of threat. So so we need to strengthen that capabilities, detection capabilities, plus predictive capabilities. So we can anticipate threats that may come
Yeah.
to attack us. Yeah. So this is I call
Mm.
it adaptive security approach. Then I think you've heard many know about the concept of zero trust security.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a way of to ensure that whoever wants to access our network devices, etc., they have to be approved, be authorized before they can access them. So these are a concept that we say that I call a very simple ABC. Uh, assume nothing. Believe no one, cover everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's sort of zero trust security, and it need to have a continuous verification. Yeah, so that always verify access all the time, all resources. Generally, I say just now, zero trust means trust no one. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the other thing, it has to be the approach that we need is a holistic approach. That means don't talk about cybersecurity purely from the technical perspective. That means
Mhm.
having good technology, regardless of whatever technology, to us we has to also encompasses the three element of people, process, and technology. Also, in fact, people is the weakest element. So when you
Yeah.
talk about cybersecurity, the defense in depth, multi-layered, etc., it has to cover all these three elements together, because even if you have the best technology to defend, just sufficient with one person to click certain link, good enough for them uh, to be able to enter our network,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Mhm.
compromise it. Yeah,
Mhm.
so it's about people, process, and technology together. Yeah? So that we can close the gaps and all the vulnerabilities. So this is
Mm.
I would say the way of solid defense plan in order to respond to cyber attacks and
Mm.
to be able to recover and bounce quickly, uh,
Yeah.
if finally somehow we've been compromised or been attacked. And because as I
Mm.
mentioned, uh, there's no such thing as 100% security. So this is what
Yeah.
we in Cybersecurity Malaysia call this concept of adaptive security, holistic approach, etc. We call it under the name of Cyber Casa. Cyber
Mhm.
Casa in Malay we call it Program Pemerkasaan Keselamatan Cyber. So it's
Mhm.
basically we approach and look at cybersecurity beyond just technology, but looking at holistically from all the three
Yeah.
elements of people, process, and technology, and approach it. I would say like from not only a responsive element, but
Mhm.
also from preventive approach
Yeah.
plus preemptive approach.
Mhm.
And then strengthening the recovery element in case we've been finally compromised
Mm.
by whatever attacks by the cyber attackers.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And there's also, like you mentioned, there need to be a balance between people, process, and technology. And we have been seeing like new technologies popping out every day, and especially like you mentioned earlier, IoT, AI, and this new technology has been introduced to Malaysian cybersecurity landscape. How do you think organization can strike a balance between, leveraging this technology and also understanding the vulnerabilities of these technologies and ensure that they have robust security measures?
Okay, we have to understand, regardless of whatever technology, it's a double-edged sword.
Mhm. Yeah.
They have the good side. They have also the dark side. We
Hmm.
have to absorb it. You know,
Yeah.
like for example, if you have a knife,
Hmm.
knife as a technology to cut fruits,
Yeah.
vegetables, which is good,
Yeah.
convenience to us. But it's the same tools, which is knife, that can cut and injure other people. So you can't
Hmm.
avoid. Same thing with whatever the technology that you use for personal or business, whatever. IoT, now you mentioned just now AI. I can tell you it's good, but it also
Hmm.
comes with the dark side of it. So we have to manage, like I said, the balance. This is, if we understand this, we have to ensure that the risk is there,
Uh-huh.
and what we can do is how do we minimize the risk. That's why the three element is important:
Yeah.
technology, people, and process together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you have the tools, the technology, but if you have the no process, for example, the knife, yeah, must be used for only this. There's a proper process, policy, governance to ensure it is being used appropriately. And
Hmm.
then the people element, they have to be trained, they have to be educated how to use the knife,
Uh-huh.
appropriately. That's why I remember it's not about technology. So that's why
Hmm.
cyber casa approach is that if you want to understand and learn to use this technology, you have to look it together as one, not just
Hmm.
about I give you knife, you pandai-pandai. Yeah, no. You know what I mean? So similarly, in the context of AI, IoT, whatever the technology is there, is useful, is good, but there are proper ways of doing this. Yeah, you have to understand there is the implications, things that we cannot avoid. Even if we are, for example, when we are online, yeah, not everything, for example, as a person, we share. Yeah,
Yeah.
sharing is caring, but oversharing is careless. You know,
True.
so those kind of things need to, regardless of whatever technology. So to me, that's why it has to be looked at from the holistic angle, understanding the premise, yeah, that it can be used for both good and bad. Then we put all the necessary measures to minimize and lessen the impact of the dark side or the negative side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very interesting analogy there. You are absolutely, I totally agree with how knife can be used for doing a good thing, can be used to do like a bad thing. Now moving on into the topic of digital transformation, because this ties back to cybersecurity in Malaysia. So Malaysia is embracing digital transformation across industries. And how can cybersecurity professional in the country align security practices with digital innovation?
Okay, thank you. Very good questions. I think we learned a lot from the recent COVID-19
Hmm.
experience. It has actually catalyzed digital transformation,
Yeah.
you know, and we now getting used to, like, for example, work from home. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
this is something that we are not used to. In fact, we having meeting online now, interviews online. This is something that I think before COVID, we don't do, but now
Yeah.
it becomes a culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say the boundaries of traditional work environment have expanded beyond the recognition. Yeah. And that's what innovation, digital transformation is all about. But I would think first and foremost, it's very important for us to understand that cybersecurity is not an obstacle
Hmm.
to innovation. In fact, it
Hmm.
is an enabler. Yeah. And we have to ensure that we make use of that appropriately. Yeah. In fact, cybersecurity must work in tandem with innovation, yeah, to ensure that the digital landscape remains secure and resilient. Yeah. I like to give example. I always like to give analogy to give some understanding, yeah, about this.
Yeah.
Uh, when I mentioned about it, it should be not an obstacle. Okay, if we have a car, uh, uh, if this car, Ellen, I give it to you, Ellen, I give to you for you to drive.
Mm.
Maybe let's call it Mercedes Benz, maybe, a Lamborghini, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I give you a car for you to drive in the hilly area. Maybe
Uh-huh.
Cameron Highland or Fraser Hill or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't uh, put a brake. I
Hmm.
take out the brake from the car, you know,
Yeah.
and I ask you to drive at that hilly area.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you drive?
I probably don't. I probably wouldn't. That's very
Yes.
dangerous. Yeah.
Yes. But as you all know, I mentioned just now about cybersecurity should not be an obstacle.
Hmm.
Cybersecurity, you can say that is equivalent to like a brake of the car.
Uh-huh.
It As if it is the obstacle because it stops you from driving. You brake, that
Mm.
means you stop. You cannot drive. You know, so it
Yeah.
makes it difficult for you. Uh, because in organization, for example, if they implement security, so
Yeah.
many process procedures, so many all these quote unquote maybe bureaucracies or whatever, make it
Yeah.
inconvenient. You know,
Yeah.
the brake also make it. I want to drive fast, but the brake is too strong. For example,
Yeah.
yeah. If you look it from the angle as an obstacle, yeah, then it don't go. You cannot go far. Just like a
Uh-huh.
car, the car cannot be driven far, nor can it be driven fast if the brake is not there.
Hmm. True.
Even though it is being seen as an obstacle, it is the one that stops you from moving.
Yeah.
So similarly, yeah, cybersecurity must be seen that way. It has to be seen as not an obstacle to innovation. but rather, in fact, enable. It allows you to go far and fast with investment in security. So we have, that means cybersecurity has to work in tandem with innovation. Regardless of you now moving from Mercedes to Tesla or whatever, innovation, the brake still remains to be there.
That is true.
Yeah. So it must together, and we have to adopt an alignment all the security practices with digital innovation to remain secure and resilient. The other thing, we have to see that cybersecurity is a journey. It's not it's not destination. It's a continuous process. Yeah. So then we can say that once we have put the brake, we cannot say that's it, but we have to ensure the brake can always be maintained, strengthen it on regularly basis. So similarly, cybersecurity. That's why we need to have a regular security update, etc., etc. Yeah. And lastly, we need to ensure also we put in place various other measures, to understand the latest update of the security trends and threats, so that we can create awareness and we can conduct more training to reskill, upskill, whatever, the professionals, then we can help strengthen our work to secure or defense our system or organization. And we can make use of all the technology I mentioned just now for that purpose. Yeah. So we make use of the Internet of Things or big data analytics. We make use of AI, etc. for that purpose. Yeah. We make use of it. Then that means we go in tandem with innovation rather than we go different way, or we see it as how do I say it, as an obstacle. That's my view. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dato. And to address the last topic here, and you mentioned it earlier, people, and also can become the weakest links as well. And attackers are finding new avenues for cyber threat with new emerging technologies. And could you discuss this point to connect it with the importance of continuous cybersecurity education and training so that we can equip professional in Malaysia with necessary skill to combat evolving threats?
Yes, a very good question. When we talk about people, I categorize them into one, people who are just a user of technology. Yeah. So it could be from the normal employees, could be people at the management, the board, etc., or even the normal technical staff. They are categorized as a user. The other one is more, I would say, more a practitioner. The one that really being tasked, the IT people, for example, the one that being tasked to help protect the organization. Yeah. So as a result of looking from that angle, we have developed in cybersecurity a framework. And for each of these framework, we have developed, if you look at like a triangle, so we have 3 layers of triangle. First layer at the bottom, the biggest part, is where most of the people are as user. So we have created a program called CyberSafe, Cybersecurity Awareness for Everyone. It's meant to educate, to enable them to the people to be our digital citizens, that are aware about the issue of security, that practice good best practices to avoid them from online harm, etc. They need to be aware, because else they do not know that there are threats out there, and they need to be taught of a basic, for example, tip setting, whatever, to protect their privacy, etc. So this is cybersecurity awareness. So under that, we have a program called Cybersecurity Awareness for Everyone, and we have various other programs under the CyberSafe umbrella that caters for various category of audience, students, women, youth, etc., etc. Yeah. Then the next layer of that triangle is more to the practitioner, who maybe they are IT people who need to be reskilled to cybersecurity competency. So more go to training on competency level of this practitioner, whether they are on the technical or on the risk management element. So we have training program under Cyber Guru, where develop competency training for 3 to 5 days, for example, on various subjects so that they understand what cybersecurity is all about. Because mostly in many universities, they have some basic cybersecurity curriculum or IT in general, but not deep into giving the explaining into various domains of subject of cybersecurity. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so this is part way of rescaling into this area, and they need to be able to understand, and they will be trained properly with industry driven module that can be used and applied to their work.
Mm-hmm.
At the third level, the highest level of the triangle is called Global ACE. This
Yeah.
it stands for Global Accredited Cybersecurity Education Scheme. This is a professional certification. You know, we know that there are many training providers also provide this IC Squared, EC Council, SANS, etc., providing
Mm-hmm.
professional certification. This one is not just being trained, going through all the training programs, etc., but you also will be tested in exam eh, and
Mm-hmm.
certified based on the international standard. You know, you can go to all this, the normal private training program, but just that to us, if we want to build more, some of the courses are good, but they are some quite expensive. But
Right.
we want, yeah. So what we need to do to want to build more. So we have developed in collaboration with government, in industry, academia, and the community at large. We develop under global scheme various accredited certification or certified cybersecurity training programs that are
Mm-hmm.
industry driven,
Yeah.
but vendor neutral, and it is less, I would say, expensive or more affordable,
Mm-hmm.
but also have the proper examination, plus obviously the training competency. So
Mm-hmm.
and it's also accredited and recognized internationally. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
based on the international standard. And in fact, this global ACE is based on ISO IEC 9001, and professional exam is guided by the ISO IEC 17024, and
I see.
we won the YCIS, or the World Summit of Information Society 2020 Winners Prize,
Mm-hmm.
in Switzerland. Yeah. So what we do, we train various training programs, certified programs. We have conducted many, not only to Malaysian, but we have
Mm.
done training under this certified program close to, I think, in between 25 to 60, 30 countries already.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. This can also be useful, can be beneficial, not only to the Malaysian IT or subsidy professionals, but also
Mm-hmm.
actually also regional, international.
Mm-hmm.
This will be useful. So for those who really want to embark into this field and being recognized internationally and being certified. Yeah? So these are
Yes.
the levels of what we call awareness training program, competency training program, plus professional certification program as a way of building talent for the country, especially in
Mm-hmm.
managing this ever evolving cyber threat landscape, not only in
Yeah.
Malaysia, but globally.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dato, for sharing your expertise and insights there. Our discussion delved into the intricacy of digital transformation versus cybersecurity, and also the evolving threat landscape in Malaysia. Dato, your perspective on the intersection on emerging technologies and cybersecurity challenges highlighted the dynamic landscape we navigate today. Once again, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation. I am Eleen Meleng, the Content Director of CISO Malaysia, and stay tuned for more enlightening discussion on cybersecurity. Thank you, Dato.
Thank you.